welcome back to ShadowCast Austin. And we're your local Coven. I'm Jeffrey with...
I'm Zoe.
Daily.
And I'm Zeph.
Welcome back!
How's everyone's week been?
It's been very, oh my gosh. So
How's everyone's apocalypse going?
How is your apocalypse?
it's been very spiritual for me lately. I've been doing a lot of ancestral type more work, more elemental type stuff like that. So I got to see a earth elemental type, and that was really scary. I say type like it's a Pokemon. Like I'm going out to hunt these guys. I am not a Pokemon earth trainer. I would be a ghost trainer.
I feel like right
I like
now is a
Pokemon.
really good time to, do spiritual work and grow in your own spiritual path.
Yeah.
I should have brought
Apocalypse is
it.
a great time for that.
I should have brought it. So I've been, how I've been gardening and everything. I just started this fairy village in my gardening area, and the branch from the oak tree above me fell down, and it looks like a scepter. It's one of those weird, like,
It's
odd
really
things.
cool.
Oh yeah,
You've seen it,
yeah.
yeah.
Stick. He brought a stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
stick.
It's a gnarled stick with a poof at the end.
and a poof.
It's really
And I'm like,
Best
I
snarls.
was gifted from the Fae, and I have now a scepter. Now I need to get. Oh wait, I have a crown.
Puts him on the
I have
head.
a scepter.
gift.
A gift.
And you are now ready, officially the Fae King.
Oh god.
The tree
saying.
tree branch hit you in the head, and that's all you needed.
So
did
I have a lesion on my vocal cord. It is healing. I went to the ENT. I was very scared because I wanted to make sure I didn't have coronavirus because I had this
That was
throat
really
thing
scary.
that wasn't going away. It is still very scary because hopefully I won't need surgery. If I take care of this properly, it will heal. That also means I have to be really quiet. So if I'm more quiet this podcast and the next couple, because it's going to be about a month, that's why.
No caffeine, no
Alcohol.
alcohol.
And she's got
no
some
yelling.
nice herbal tea,
Yeah.
which is great. Your herbal teas are great.
We'll yell so she doesn't have to.
I mean, I think we could do that.
You guys do that all the time. We do that. I am living vicariously.
It's a change.
I need a drink, Jeffrey.
Okay. Alright, 1 second. She
Feel
just
that.
gets it. And she's like, well, they're drunk tonight. I'm gonna get high drunk. This is gonna be great.
Ooh.
What about you, Daily?
I've been gardening a lot.
Yes.
We
yes.
went and got
Oh, God.
we went and got lots of flowers from the
We went to a
local
nursery.
nursery. Yeah.
That was a lot.
I have to get like heat resistant, like heavy sun, but then they also, bring in the bees and the butterflies and the
Yes.
hummingbirds.
I started getting hummingbirds.
You did? Yes.
It's so
we've
cute.
all got
What are you
hummingbirds.
doing to get hummingbirds? Just for flowers?
It's the flowers
Certain
that
types of flowers.
there's certain kind of flowers that like really attract them, and there's been one that's been coming by. But every time I get up to move to take a picture or a video, it goes away. I'm like, no, come back! But I got some more blue cardinals and blue jays and red cardinals coming in now. So
cool.
there's like more of them.
We got a
I
hummingbird
think the
feeder,
family
too,
had
so-
some babies and now they're flying.
I have a bird's nest on top of a ceiling fan on my porch.
Turn on
What?
the fan, and when those kids are ready to
No.
fly.
No, that's what I'm worried about. Is that there's going to be a storm and it's going to because there's babies in it right now.
I wonder
Well,
if you
no.
can tape one of the blades somehow or anchor one of the blades so that it doesn't.
Oh no, you can just actually unscrew the blades off entirely.
But
Just not use
they're-
that fan.
There's babies in
on
there right
They're
now.
on the blades.
There's babies
Oh,
in the
it's
blade.
on the blade
Yeah, on
itself.
top of it.
Oh God, we
Yeah.
are. We gotta build something to hold that nest because they are.
I mean, they're growing fast. They're already you can see them.
That's
So I'm hoping that they'll just grow up and fly away and it'll all be fine.
I hope that nest is just fine and it's not going to fall for anything.
right. Oh God.
Let's just send a little energy to it, a
Here
little coven
we
energy.
go.
on
Little
that
coven
No,
energy.
seriously.
Protection.
There we go. This is coven energy.
Mother bird, think about your life choices.
A lot of choices. This is not the place to move to.
I know what we can talk about. Our tattoo we're getting next week.
Oh yeah.
As a cousin.
So it turns out that each of us represents one of the elements astrologically, and it's just a perfect serendipity. So we decided that we're gonna go as a coven and each get our sign tattooed. And I am water.
I'm Earth.
Fire.
Air. I was trying to think of a joke.
Yeah.
Think on your toes, Zeph.
And I really can't wait till we do that because just the way how our relationship has come in the last year of being a coven. We're almost on our anniversary day. August, which is amazing. And then, we even have now we have a TikTok. Oh,
We
God.
do. We have a Coven TikTok.
It's ShadowCast Austin. It's all one word, and yeah, it's all sorts of
Silly.
silly stuff, but
witchy,
very
lots of fun
witchy.
stuff.
If you love that kind of witchy aesthetic,
Or if you
follow
just want to
us.
see us yell a lot and
Yep.
flail.
Oh, and
There's
if
a
we
lot of
once we reach
And
1,000,
Zeph sighing.
but the thing is that once we reach 1,000 followers, we're gonna go ahead and do a live stream of one of our big rituals that we like to do. So that's gonna be a
Big rituals.
lot of fun.
Yeah.
How was your weekend,
How do you live
Zeph?
stream a ritual on TikTok? It's only 60 seconds.
No,
No.
you can do a live stream.
The
You can do
videos
a-
are 60 seconds,
Videos
but
60
the
seconds, but
you
you can
can
actually
live
go
stream
live.
like
It's
you
just
can do
like
on
on
Facebook and
Facebook.
Instagram.
Yeah.
So we'll probably do it from all platforms just
Very
to
cool.
have fun with
That
that.
would be cool.
Yeah.
How's your weekend been?
Good. I've been making friends with squirrels.
It's true.
I actually have footage. We'll roll it right now. But,
Quarantine
We have a-
times. Friends with squirrels.
Friends with
Plays with
squirrels.
squirrels.
I've been breaking quarantine. I've been not social distancing.
This is no longer Zeph. His name is Plays with Squirrels.
Plays with
Plays
squirrels. Plants and my name is Plants and Garden. What about you?
Oh God, I can't even think right now.
Whispered voice. And
It's just me.
so I'm gonna be a little silly here. I got a boyfriend
That's
now.
not silly, that's
I'm
news.
excited. It's big news,
Big
actually.
news. Jeffy got a
Yes.
boyfriend.
Yes, and
He's
it's
very sweet.
Very sweet. I think this is gonna be the best one yet.
Yodi agrees. This is gonna be the best. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Yes, you will
best
see.
one yet.
I'm sure you guys will see videos and pictures of us together. Super excited, but I gotta say, like, I really like everything that we've been doing lately. It just, I feel like we really have been doing a lot more spiritual work and such. And speaking.
Well, I think we're all growing in different areas
Yes.
in our life. Like, I mean, I am basically right now detoxing from caffeine and alcohol and pretty much everything, and been working out every day, and but also just kind of.
We're Wim Hofing.
Yeah, we are doing.
Good luck on that.
We're going on.
No.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I do it every day. But yeah, and then I don't know. I feel like we're all getting healthier.
Yeah.
Physically, mentally, spiritually. So it's been a
Some
really
of us
good-
more than others.
Yeah.
That's great.
JK.
Oh my
We're
gosh.
all equally getting.
We're all equally awesome.
Well, it's like with the way the pandemic has been and everything, it's just like sleep schedules are off, my eating schedules is off.
Yeah,
and I'm
everything's
I
off.
need to
There's no
really
rhythm
get
to
back
life
on
right
a
now.
schedule. So
Holy
like with
moly.
me, I'm starting to fast. I stopped eating from 9 to 9, and then I stopped drinking caffeine after 5. I'm gonna go to bed at
But
a certain
before
time.
5, it's on.
Oh yeah, but no, I mean, I'll have Saturday and Sunday's my cheat day, but what I was doing was literally everything was, I was going to bed at 8, 9 in the morning where I
Yeah.
normally am this is not normal and it's not healthy. I was
Yeah.
being so fatigued, I hate it.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I definitely am
I'm taking a
ready
page
to
out of your
get
book
back.
for doing that now.
ready to get back to a rhythm and a schedule. But I also think that it's
Oh, yeah.
been really valuable
Rhythm.
to have this time
Yeah.
to just pull out of society and kind of have the time to just exist. Because just existing is not at all prioritized in our culture. It's
No,
you
it is
have to be producing, you have to be creating, you have to be going, you have to be working all
Yeah.
the time, and we're kind of forced to go inside and get still. And I know for all of us at varying degrees it's been kind of challenging, and but I think it's been really good, because I know for myself it's revealed a lot about myself to
Yeah.
myself.
Self, I said.
Yeah.
Self. Yeah, it's
But
been,
I
it's
feel
really
like
good.
I feel like we've all really, we've cut back a lot on like just drinking alcohol all the time.
We've evolved
and
in many
caffeine.
ways.
We really have, and it's been very beneficial. So, in the meantime, everyone, go ahead and stay tuned for more content. We have one of Zoe's videos coming up, so hope you all enjoy.
If you like my videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Yes, what channel is it called?
It's Zoe Sol.
Zoe
Very easy
Sol.
to find.
Very
Yeah,
easy.
we'll have that down in the bar here.
SOL.
Yeah, or over here somewhere. Anyways, stay
You'll
tuned,
have
guys.
that right over here.
Right there! Oh, God, there's water! All right, stay tuned, guys. Thank you so much.
Once upon a time, many, many years ago, there was a little baby witch named Zoe, and she wanted more than anything in the whole wide world to have a coven to call her own. And she went to pagan festivals and rituals and Wiccan ceremonies, looking around, asking, "Are you my coven?" But alas, poor little Zoe never found her coven, and she was destined to be alone and solitary the rest of her poor witchy life. Just kidding, that didn't happen. What actually happened is that Zoe eventually stopped looking for a coven, and then lo and behold, the right people came into her life and she got her very first coven. So, as you have figured out by now, today's vlog is all about covens. How do you get a coven if you are a new witch and you want a coven but you don't know how to get one? And also, what should you be looking for within a coven? And what is it actually like being in the coven? As I mentioned in my short little story, years ago when I was a baby witch, I really wanted a coven, and I wanted to have a group, a small, close-knit community / family to call my own that I could practice with. And it really is a beautiful thing. But I found that even though I met a lot of really cool people and I did end up making a lot of friends, finding those right people that I clicked with was hard. And the reason that it's hard is because when you enter into a coven, you're basically entering into a spiritual relationship with these people. You're creating a small little tribe or a family. And, families and tribes and relationships aren't easy. And if you're picky with whom you choose to get in a relationship with, like me, well, then that's actually a really good thing, especially when it comes to your spiritual practice. Now, I know some of you are saying, but Zoe, I really want a coven. So this video is going to talk about, how you can begin to find that. If you really want a coven, what I would suggest that you start doing is start looking within your witchy community. Now, right now with everything going on with the pandemic, especially if you're in the US, we are very limited right now because of everything that's going on in the world. And so a really good way to start connecting is hop online and get involved with Facebook groups, Facebook communities, Instagram communities, and more, and start the conversation, the witchy conversations with people. And look for those people who resonate with you and talk about your practice, talk about your craft. Because really the very first thing that you need to do is you need to develop a friendship. For me, it didn't go from like, I don't know you to now we're in a coven. It developed, there were stages to it. Now, I know that there are traditions where there is a very specific path that you're going to follow, and you may get in a coven right away, and you might not even know the people that well or know them just well enough, and it's through being in the coven and through learning the traditions that you develop that relationship. That's awesome if that's your path, but that wasn't my path. And so I'm talking specifically to those new practitioners out there who are solitary right now, who are hungry for more community. I'm talking to you because I was you. Definitely reach out and start to get involved in as many communities as you can. That being said, as soon as this pandemic lifts just enough that you can get out and be social again, I would really recommend going to pagan gatherings, Wiccan gatherings, ceremonies, rituals, and getting to know the witches in your community. I mean, we're actually in a really cool time right now because witches are coming out of the broom closet in droves, and it is fantastic for those of us who've been on the path for a while now, kind of on our own. It's a really great time to explore your path and to build community. Now, if you're having trouble, there are some spells that you can do. You can do some basic love and manifesting spells, and instead of asking for, setting the intention of attracting a lover, you can set the intention to attract a coven. One very simple one that you can do is on the new moon, get a white or a pink candle. What I would do is get your candle, close your eyes, set the intention for the energy of the people you would like to invite. And you can be specific if you want to. If you want to be specific and say, well, I want 3 other people, I want 2 other people, I want just 1 other person, whatever it is. If you want to do that, you can. But I would actually suggest that instead you be open to finding the right people for you. So I would say set the intention that the right people come with you to help you grow yourself spiritually, grow your practice spiritually, and create a coven and a spiritual family with you. Light the candle, and light the candle for the 3 days following the new moon. And every night, I would do this at nighttime, as you light the candle, again, set your intention. That's all you have to do. It is a super, super easy manifesting spell, like as easy as it comes. And then just allow it to happen. These things are funny because I find that the more you push, the harder it is and the more it's forced. I'm going to share with you how I started my coven. I actually have been practicing solitary for many, many years now. Probably like 15 years I've been solitary, and it wasn't within the last few years that I actually found my first coven. I did have one coven before this coven, and the way that it happened is we were a bunch of friends, we started hanging out, we were all witches. We started doing rituals together, and then lo and behold, we were like, hey, are we a coven? I think we're a coven. Let's be a coven. That's how it happened. And then we started doing rituals regularly. It was a really great first coven to be in, and while I had a lot of fun, I also really got to know a lot about myself and a lot about my spiritual boundaries, what worked for me, what didn't work for me. And while I deeply care for these people, and they will always hold a special place in my heart, being the first coven, there came a point where I just didn't really align or resonate with where they were going, and we parted ways amicably, and it was fine, and I became solitary again. Now at the second coven, I have an event called House of Mab. My husband and I throw events here in Austin, and this is actually a dark fairy event. And I had invited Jeffrey to be the MC for the night, and I had invited Daily South, who at the time was the vampire queen of the Austin court, to come and be a part of this event. And so they were at our house, and we are preparing for this event. I think we were making gift bags for our VIP room. And it was I don't remember the holiday, it might have just been a full moon, but I was like, hey, you guys want to do a ritual? They were like, sure. So we did this ritual, and I have to tell you, at the end of the ritual, We were buzzing. It was so electric in the room. I had never felt such an experience like that in a group ritual. Now, even though I've been solitary for many years, I have gone to public rituals and I have partaken in other covens. So I have been in ceremonies other than, you know, my own solitary ceremonies. So I know what that's like. And somehow, the way we all worked together, it just clicked. And we were all kind of organically high from this experience we had. And we kind of looked around the room and we were like, whoa, after the ritual. And then that's when it dawned on us, hey, wait a minute. Do we all represent one of the elements? And then that's when we discovered that, you know, earth, fire, wind, earth, fire, air, water, we all had one of the elements. And so now we are in a coven together, and it is one of the most wonderful, beautiful things. But, you know, while it is wonderful and beautiful, it is also work, because as I mentioned before, it's a relationship. It's a family, or as we like to call ourselves, we're a family. Family, get it? So we all kind of had to, even though we work really well together, we also had to kind of like each individually set our egos aside and really give space for each one of us to shine. And so please keep in mind that it is a relationship, and like with any relationship, issues are going to arise. I want to talk a little bit about those dynamics. If you are really serious about having a coven that's going to function, the way that this coven that I currently have has been able to continue to thrive and work has been really through me setting aside my own ego and my own priorities for the good of the coven and for the good of the group. And really knowing that this is a spiritual practice. And because it's a spiritual practice, we are all in each other's lives to help each other grow. And the way that I do something may be different from the way that someone else does something, but that doesn't make it wrong or right. It doesn't make it less magical or one way more powerful. We all come to the group with our own gifts and our own experience, and we're all at different points on our path. And rather than have the attitude of like, well, I wouldn't do it that way, instead, you really need to take the attitude of what can I learn from this? And an attitude of curiosity is how I would put it. Like, that's different. I wonder why they did this, or that's interesting, so that you can really grow from the coven. One of the things that I find in every religion and every tradition, including paganism and Wicca, this desire to be right, or this need to, you know, say, well, this is the right way because this has been the way it's been handed down for X generations, or whatever the case. And while there is value in tradition, and there is immense value in understanding your roots and understanding where you came from, ingenuity and evolution is also valuable. Allowing things to evolve and allowing new ways and new insights and new concepts to come through is great. And a great way to experience that is through a coven, because I guarantee you, if you join a coven, you and your coven members are going to have different perspectives. And that's a wonderful thing, because that's really how you all help each other grow. The other thing that is really important when you have a coven is to maintain a sense of humor. Now, you will find, if you followed our coven on any of the social media platforms, we actually have a ridiculous sense of humor. And for me, that's actually really beneficial, because I have a tendency to get very serious in my craft. And so having people around me that have this silly sense of humor and this levity to them balances me. And it's a really wonderful thing, because it brings out this other side of me that I need to remember, especially when practicing spirituality, because while spirituality is serious and it is powerful and we shouldn't take it lightly, there's also this side to it that is playful and that is fun and that has the potential to be just really silly and wonderful. And so I would say, you know, let your spirituality be multifaceted. Now let's talk a little bit about what you should look for in a coven. The number one thing that I always look for when I am in relationship with people in general is spiritual growth. Like, I seek spiritual growth on all levels. And so I really look for people that are going to engage me in that process. With this particular coven, you know, they, like I said, have a huge sense of humor, and they brought out the lightheartedness in me, the sense of play and the sense of silliness that I really needed to reconnect with, because I kind of had forgotten that side of me. I had been building a business, I had been working really hard, and I don't know, life had just gotten kind of heavy and serious for me. So having these people enter my life that were like goofy and off the wall and zany was great. And that was actually a spiritual growth for me, because it reminded me of, again, being multifaceted in life and being whole and complete as a human being, and having that little bit of mischief is not a bad thing. And so when you're looking for people that you want to be in a coven with, I would really say, you know, ask yourself, are these people that I feel like I could spiritually grow with? And if the answer is yes, that is awesome. The other thing that I would say, and probably the most important thing, the number one thing, is a feeling of safety with your group. Do you feel safe? Do you feel emotionally safe to state your needs, to speak your truth? Do you feel spiritually safe? Do you feel like you're respected, that you trust them and that they trust you, and that you can talk openly and honestly about anything? Because again, things are gonna come up. It just does. You know, that's the nature of relationships. And so when you guys have conflict, are you able to resolve those conflicts and have honest communication? If you're able to have those things in place, it's going to make a world of difference. That's really what I've noticed has been able to hold our group together, because we've had ups and downs, and I've had times in my coven where I've wondered, like, oh, is this, you know, are they sick of me? Or, oh, am I outgrowing them? Or, oh, you know, I've had doubts. And that's normal. But what I've noticed is that every time I bring it to my coven members, I'm able to talk through it, and we're able to come to a resolution that really works and where we all grow. So having a coven is beautiful. And I really hope that if you are looking for a coven, you're able to find one. That being said, I also want to say that being solitary is also really, really beautiful, especially if you're a new baby witch. I know for me, even though I really wanted a coven, being solitary was actually beneficial for me, because what it did was it forced me to really get to know myself as a witch, and to really get to know what my values were, what my intentions were behind becoming a witch, and really discovering who I was. If you don't find a coven, please don't despair. Know that not having a coven is not the end of the world. Being solitary has so much to offer. Now, I do continue to do rituals and spell work on my own. I also do rituals and ceremony and spell work with my husband. So I do it solitary, and I do it with my husband, and then I have it with my coven. And then when we're not, you know, in quarantine, I will attend public rituals. And so that kind of covers the full spectrum, because each situation offers something different. In the beginning especially, go out and explore. Find what works for you. And if you're not finding exactly what you want, maybe consider that what you have might be exactly what you need right now. And rather than try to fight it or try to change it, instead, what if you accepted it as your path right now and embraced it and fully explored the scope of what that means for you in this moment? So that's my video on covens. I hope you liked it. If you have any questions or you want to know more information, please leave a comment. Thank you and have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.
It's not recording! Ah! It's still not recording!
Yes, it is. It's recording. Look. All right. All right.
So in case y'all didn't know, we're fairies.
Yeah, Faeries. Oh my God. Sorry.
Whatever that is.
Some fairy shit.
Yeah.
You understand.
Yeah.
Zeph's over here just like, back on my planet. They
Speaking of which, when are they coming to get us?
We're waiting.
They already have.
But that was either really creepy or really hot.
That
Someone-
was, I don't know what you're
Vote now. Really creepy or really hot.
Well,
You're not talking to Zeph. Sorry.
Again,
So we're,
I live in a constant state of confusion.
it's amazing. So we wanted to touch on the content about Fae because, hey, we're basically the unseelie Fae of Austin.
Yeah.
I mean, look
Yeah.
at it. House and Map. We throw parties like crazy.
We throw parties. Very
Parties for the Black
Very
Schnapsy.
parties for the dog.
The Darklings. Darklings.
Oh, I have to be careful.
No. Oh, wait, well, I'll do it for you. Wait. Oh, wow, Zoe.
I gotta get it. You got it.
This
Susan.
is-
You
this
got it,
is-
Susan.
This is.
That's the voice of a classically
So,
trained opera singer right there.
so this is. Then that's the show, folks. There you go.
I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, yeah, people are gonna want to see us educate, but no, this is what they want to see.
Yes, entirely. But yeah, so we're talking about fairy craft and everything, and what the Fae relate to us, and if you were talking earlier, is like there's really not that many books on it. People are like, how
No.
I want to learn stuff, this and this.
The
and we
Fae
actually,
don't want you to know.
Yes.
Well,
You
that's
kind of have
actually
to do your
quite
own
true.
research. No, I know. I was making a joke / true statement.
But
Yeah.
we actually have quite a few books on fairycraft that Daly and Zoe and I always do that with you both.
He
We're
can't
the
keep
same.
his women.
And
in his
sometimes
mind.
she calls us Joey.
No, I did that at the beginning because I was like, instead of saying I'm gonna go hang out with Jeffrey and Zoe, I just said I'm gonna go see Joey.
We got Zoe, we got Jeffrey, we have Daly,
And then we have
Zeph.
Easy.
You can start calling you Zeppy.
But I
Zeppy.
always.
Zeppy and Jeffy.
Oh God.
That is so cute.
Zephyr.
Welcome to the Zeppy and Jeffy show.
Hi! We're high on cookies and ice cream. We have so much sugar, let me
Your own
tell you.
supply.
And juice
You're high on
boxes.
your own supply.
And juice boxes, but first,
Juice boxes.
let's talk to you about fairies.
Fairies.
Yes. I figured this would be a good subject for you to start, because, oh my gosh. Ha! Put you on the spot.
Oh my gosh. Okay, fairies. I guess I'll just start with ever since I was very young, I've connected with fairies. I was talking to them as a child and connecting with them, and they would come to me in my dreams. And then I got started on my path of being a witch, and I identified as eclectic. And it actually, I was working with fairies and elementals a lot, and then it wasn't until within the last year that I discovered there was such a thing as a fairy witch. I'm surprised it took me this long to find this, but when I did, I was like, oh my God, that's exactly what I am. And basically,
Well, it's not one of the more well-known, talked about. It's
not.
green witch and pagan and things like that, but not.
Yeah, I
fairy
like
witch
it.
is not something.
I
that's
really like it
discussed.
when you go out and people are like, like events, festivals, or whatever, and they're like, "What
But
are you?"
when we used to go out to events and festivals,
I liked when we
well, that
went
was
to.
that was honestly something that I had to deal with for a long time because I was running the vampire community, but I would have people come up to me and be like, "You have so much Fae energy around you," and I'm like, "No, I don't. Stop saying that." But it was constant. People were like, "I know you're like the vampire queen, but like, girl, you Fae."
Yeah. Oh,
And
you're
I'm like-
super Fae.
I'm like, "But I don't want to be." And it took me a long time to like.
Was that before or after you had your ears pointed?
It was before.
Okay.
This was like going on for years, and I was like,
Okay.
but then I finally accepted it in like 2017, and then after that I was like, I'm just gonna go get my ears pointed, I'm gonna start studying, I'm gonna just accept this and just let it happen.
Yeah.
And then there was that one time she met me in the club, and she's like, "What was that?"
That wasn't at the club, that was at Sherwood.
Or was that Sherwood? It was at Sherwood.
We talked about that
the
in the last
Renaissance Fair.
episode.
Yeah, Sherwood Renaissance Fair. Oh, I miss that.
The club was a bit different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, how would you guys say? Because I know people want to know. Well, how do you know if you're Fae? How do you know if
Liked it.
how do you start on a fairy path?
Yeah,
Like,
how do
does
you
that
know
work?
your awakening is Fae? How do you know you have...
I will definitely say like my awakening was more Fae-like was when I was a little bit younger, like probably like 7. Like I started my craft at when I was 15. I'm 32 now, so it's been 17 years. So, but I think my awakening was more around 17, 18, and like figuring out like, wow, I'm like anytime it's like Fae stuff, like if it's jewelry or something, I go into a Chinese, I go into a trance, and then like I'm basically a green witch, and like every plant I touch,
I also
if it's
feel
dying,
like-
it grows back. It's crazy. It's like it's very relate to.
I also feel like
Fae.
you in general aren't someone who needs to explain how they're Fae.
Yeah.
I feel like anyone who's met Jeffrey is like, what?
Yeah.
What's that?
Is he schizophrenic?
That is the
Hi, friend. You know who we're talking about. Shout out
Oh,
to you,
he's
buddy.
gonna love that.
That is the worst human costume
Patient.
I've ever seen in my life. Like when you posted that one thing and you were like, oh, if I did a TED Talk, what would it be about? And someone was like, how to pretend to be human. And I was like, no, he's not good at that though.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not.
This
But-
is the worst human disguise I've ever seen.
But no, it's just my energy. It's just like I said with plants. I'm like it's weird. It's like I literally plants dying. I touch it, it comes back to life within a
Well,
little
you need to touch a
It's-
few of my plants.
Oh,
also.
girlfriend, we're gonna talk.
Touch that one.
We're gonna have a talk after this. 'Cause
For $30.
Well, you've been touching it. It's not
You
doing
can
I'm
do
just
like, you can
kidding.
do like $50. For $50 an hour, Jeffrey will come stand in your garden
And touch your
and
plants.
touch your plants.
Sounds dirty.
6 feet.
6 feet.
But no, I mean like it's just
Plants
just
are
everything related to Fae when you do research and everything. It's just I mean like
I mean, I feel like for myself, I didn't necessarily have like an awakening, like a big like aha moment. I feel like it was a series of kind of uncovering things and
That
being like,
is an awakening.
this
though.
is this feels right. Oh, this, but like not
But
like
it's a
an
journey.
overnight.
Well, yeah, it's
Like,
never
yeah.
like a click. It's more
Right.
like a things just start falling into place, and then there's more things that fall into place.
And you're like,
Right, right. And I guess like it's an energy because now I can feel it in other people. It's like there's a resonance, and you can kind of feel like the way I described it is like almost like an electric.
It's TV static.
Not
static-
TV,
still
but
static
yeah,
units, yeah.
it's got this like this very excitable energy. But there are different types of Fae, and there's also that very kind of earthy, rooted, grounded energy that can happen too. And I feel like I fall a little more on that spectrum. I'm very water, but
we
yeah,
get along
it's-
just fine, and you fuel the fire, and everything's
I-
good. Well, oxygen, air, fire.
we all work
Get it?
together.
Yeah, we all work together.
Well, yeah, that's
The
why the
circle
elements,
of
that's why the elements work together.
life.
Yeah.
That's why you call on the elements during rituals, and we're already here.
Yeah.
No need to call us, we're here.
We're here.
Hi.
Hello. What about you, Zeph? Like, how do you relate to face and such?
Not as much as Zoe, for sure.
He's
That's
an
not my
alien.
background, but yeah. I mean, I'm not I'm not as connected to Fae energy as Zoe is.
He lives vicariously through us.
I
And it's a
definitely
lot of
do.
fun.
He's from the planet. What's your planet called?
Yes.
It can't be pronounced with these tongues.
Bitch!
He always has a great answer, and it's my
I
favorite
love
thing.
it.
I would just sit and be like, Zeph, tell me a story.
Like, I don't even know
And I
how,
just want him
how do
to
you
go.
do anything with this tongue?
Oh,
There-
You do plenty.
Ah! PG.
Sorry.
Anyways, so
Anything.
one. Oh my gosh. So there's quite a few books, and we'll name them, and we'll also have them listed and such. But this is like one of my favorite books I wanted to share with you guys. It's Through the Fairy Glass,
It's really pretty.
and it's a look at the realm of the unseen and the enchanted beings, and it's by Kenny Klein. And the cover though is just absolutely
Very
beautiful.
pretty.
That's
It
what
is so
really.
pretty.
This came out.
But don't judge a book by its cover. Just
Never.
admire the cover.
Yes. Well, I got I got this book came out. This is the second revised edition. It came out in 2010, and that's when I got this book. And this actually is my very first Fae book, and you learn so much through it. And there's actually some poems in here. And there's even a chapter here that says Faerie sexuality. So it's a really neat thing of like
Interesting.
it's really
That
as-
I feel like is another show.
Oh, that is an entirely
another
different
show
thing
for us.
because there is a different sex vibe
Yeah.
with
For
Fae.
instance, they have nubbins.
What?
Jesus Christ.
What's a what?
Zeph is like a whole mood.
He doesn't know what to do with his tongue. Stating the tongue of men with your lips.
With your lips.
We'll have to post that video at some
Oh
point.
my god.
But it's a very complex book that I highly recommend.
And
but
that,
yeah.
what's it called?
Through the Fairy Glass, and it's by Kenny Klein. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
I would have to check
And
that
you can
one
get
out.
probably all these books on Amazon. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll have
Yeah.
all these books listed. But
Kindle.
I'm really
Kindle,
interested, Zoe, about this fairy craft.
Yeah, so I just started reading this book.
Me
This is-
too.
Yeah, we started reading it
Yep.
together. Fairy craft, following the path of fairy witchcraft, and this book is actually what when I kind of realized that I was a fairy witch, I was like,
Wait,
I
you're a
need-
fairy witch?
Who would have thought? Who would have known?
She's a devil's minion.
I got this book so that I could educate myself more and just kind of learn more, and I love it. What I love about this book, and I think is really important with fairy craft in particular, is that it dives into the history of the craft, but then also the mythology, because there's a lot of Norse mythology and a lot of Irish mythology, and certain parts of the world. The fairy energy is very, very strong, and it's very immersed in the culture. So it dives into that and kind of where fairy craft comes from, and where certain spells and rituals come from. And it also includes in the back here, it includes some incantations and
She's a witch!
Behold the witch at the terminal.
Oh, we are so gonna show
You're
that
gonna post
video.
that one.
We went to
We
Denver,
went to
Colorado
Denver.
to see
Many
Helium,
moons ago, many moons before
and-
the apocalypse.
and they took her toothpaste, but not her bone necklace.
oh yeah, I had bones in
She
my
got stopped at
suitcase.
security, not
I'm like,
for the
it's
bones
not
in
for
her
the bones.
suitcase, but for the toothpaste.
Oh my gosh.
They let her keep her bones.
Got my bones.
So what do you guys think of
But-
like the unseelie and the seelie, like the two types of like fake courts?
I just look at it as energies, right? Like the unseelie, that's the winter court, and then the seelie is the summer court. But the unseelie is kind of this wild, unbridled, like if you think of a winter storm, that's the energy that I get out of the unseelie court, whereas the seelie court is much more jovial, but and playful. It's kind of, it falls more
Childlike.
on the end of like what you typically think of Fae as Fae. However, I will say that, Faerie, what I love about the Fae is that it's super complex, and you meet each elemental as an individual. So like when you're working with gods and goddesses, it's sort of this archetype that you're working with. But with Fae, you meet them as an individual person. So you might meet a Seelie, doesn't mean they're going to be sweet and loving just because they're Seelie. You might meet an Unseelie, and it doesn't mean they're going to be cold and brooding because they're Unseelie.
I'm Unseelie, and
They're
you've met me, I'm like, I
They're
am.
Everyone is.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
They're multifaceted.
But it's really cool with like how Fae are and everything, and like there's almost kind of like different species of Fae. Like you know, there's people who relate as trolls, goblins, you know, actual
Elves.
Fae, ents, or you know, like little nymphs or satyrs and such. I mean, if there ever was, I would be probably. I'm more of a satyr relation to the Fae, if anything, because I mean, hey.
Hey.
I
mean, hey.
What? Sorry.
Welcome.
So yeah, this book has been really helpful, but I have to say, I have to talk about this book because this is one of my favorite books, The Green Man.
Yes.
Another thing I want to say is if you want to learn more about Fae, start reading fairy tales and start reading old
I was
fairy
gonna say
tales.
that's a fiction.
This is a
It's
fiction.
a collection of.
This is a collection of fiction, but it's sort of like just because it's fiction doesn't mean
Fairy
it's not
tales are
true.
super rooted in history.
And this
They're
is
original.
I would
this
definitely
is the thing,
yeah.
is that like it's with fair. Sorry, I don't mean to.
Oh, no, we
I'm
do that all the
excited.
time.
I'm excited.
Do you know the root?
She's on it.
Wait.
But do it again.
Oh my god.
And Zeph's over here.
Your neighbors are gonna be like, what the hell are they doing over
I
there?
think they're used to it by now.
She's supposed to be
But
quiet.
see, this right here, what we're doing right now, Fae, because we're like distractions.
Ping, ping, ping.
Like
So it's
when
like
I'm,
ADD.
yes, or schizophrenia.
That's a certain type of thing.
never gonna
Not
let it
all
go.
Fae.
I will never let that go ever.
I can't wait for you to meet him.
It's
It's gonna be really funny.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to all that.
It's gonna be very funny for sure.
So
Yeah,
you were
fairy
saying
tales.
the root word of fairy tale is fairy.
Yeah, very, but
Amazing.
Oh my god!
Wait.
Wait.
well, that was disappointing.
That's what she said.
You just made no face. I'm sorry.
I did. Oh my god.
Do you
Wait, are we
remember
getting paid
Amelie?
for this?
Yes.
Pay me. What?
This is very educational.
Do you remember in
We
Amelie
just-
and they were like cycling through everyone having orgasms, and at the very
Yeah.
end it's that woman.
Gosh.
Goes, oh.
Yes.
So
I would say piggyback a little bit off like the fairy tales and everything. I definitely recommend going to like the old style of like very old stories, like early 1800s, and go from there. Because like anything that's kind of new and vamped up, I'm like I like it, but it's a different kind of representation of how Fae are than what they were.
And if
Because-
you're more like, if you learn better with pictures, like I personally love like good illustrations. Brian Froud's amazing. I have
yes.
multiples of his books.
I actually have his deck that we're going to be.
And you can
going
learn about
over.
different
Yeah.
different species of Fae. Absolutely amazing. Some of his books are very beautiful as well. So very
Oh yeah, we
I-
love Brian Proud. If you ever want to come on this show, Brian, we would
Yes.
consider it.
Yes.
We would consider. We'd have to interview you first.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We'd
Virtually.
have to
Apply.
interview you.
Virtually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have to say, if you
I'll
really,
get Corona from Brian Froud.
right.
if you want to see the illustrations of Fae, go to Brian Proud. That's to me, I think is the
Yeah,
best
he's
representation.
amazing.
And Fae, just so you know, is not like these pretty-go-lucky, you know, Tinkerbell, whatever. Like. Fae are actually really disgusting and ugly looking, but
They
in
can
their
be.
own
They're
beautiful form.
Dang!
Well, I mean, like in their own beautiful form, because when people do see actual representation of the Fae, they're like, "That's ugly," but I'm like, "That's what they actually
think they're
should look.
ugly.
I think look like."
Yeah, I never thought
Their
they
faces-
were.
No, I don't think they're
trees
ugly,
and-
but I mean, I've heard
There
other
are-
I've
people.
heard.
I've
I've
heard.
heard. No,
Yeah.
some of my best friends are fairy.
Oh god. Well, I worked at Barnes and Noble for like 10 years, and
Yeah.
people would see Brian Frouds, and they're like, "Oh, this is so gross," and then they go in the kids' department and get some little other kitty fairy book.
I
And
get
I'm just
what
like,
you
they don't look like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ah!
pick up a little pixie or something. They're fine.
Ah! Thank you.
This is terrible.
Oh my god, this is what we do. This is great. But
But
you
yeah.
know, I really like these representations of everything. What was the title of this book? In
The Green
This is
Man.
Green Man Tales from the Mythic Forest. And I just wanted to say one more thought on that, like this whole idea of just because it's not real doesn't mean it's not true. And that's a very Fae way of looking at things. And what I love about fairy craft is that it blurs the lines of reality and imagination. And the way to access the fairy realm is through your imagination. That's why kids are so open to it. And kids are so able to
Reconnect
access.
with your child self.
Right.
Yes.
And that's really the path and the portal to that other place.
I'm never growing up.
Really?
No. It's not.
My nickname's Peter Pan.
Yeah, he's Peter Pan.
He just
That's-
is.
Oh, hello.
Wow, well we just
Well,
our time is up.
so stay tuned because we're actually gonna do a
card pull.
fairy card pull
From
with
the
Brian Fouts.
Brian Proud.
So-
Speaking of Brian Proud, he'll be right back.
Yeah. So stay tuned, guys. Thank you so much. Hey everyone, welcome to
This week's fairy forecast.
Woo!
Jazz hands.
This tarot deck is represented from Brian Froud's Faeries Oracle deck, so it's gonna be really neat. What we're gonna go ahead and do is that we have the deck here. It's already been shuffled and such like that, and we're just gonna each of us are gonna pull a card, and it's gonna be what kind
What
of
the
energy.
week has to come for us.
Yes,
and
because-
for you viewers at home.
So we hope this helps you guys out. Take it as you will, and hopefully it's inspirational.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first? Because I'm not.
We can go this way.
Okay, I'll go first.
You go first.
Mm-hmm. I don't pick one of them.
Pick one.
She's so unseelie.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's a singer.
The singer of the chalice. Okay, the singer of the chalice is very receptive energy. It's very feminine, divine energy, and it's basically saying that this is a time to go inward and to receive and be receptive. So it's really not about being outside and having an outward energy. It's really about
Staying
digging
quarantined.
deep, staying quarantined and safe, and surrendering to that.
I like that. Nice. All right. Well,
I'm
go
afraid
ahead.
of doing one of those.
So
'cause I cannot
technically,
read
this
those.
is filming in 4K, so you could just zoom in.
The singers.
Oh,
Yeah, I
okay.
can't read those.
Yeah.
Well, don't say
There has
it
to
on
be
the
a,
camera.
there has to be like a situation happening.
Well, the
Like
book
in
is here
post,
if you
like,
need to
okay.
In edit.
cheat.
Okay. Well
Yeah.
then I'll come in. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and draw this one. I'm just gonna do the top. Oh, Lesson Moon's daughter. She is absolutely wonderful. So she, to me, represents a lot of grounding work is to be done, but to be very playful of it and everything else like that. There's always going to be a light in the darkness. So no matter how dark things may seem, just remember to ground yourself and just let loose your fairy energy, and you'll be your own beacon of light. So
That's a good one.
yeah. lots of
Okay,
grounding work.
where should I pull from? Middle, top?
Okay.
Ooh.
That is Luthus
the Wild.
I love him.
Yes. I love this card actually. I'm super into this card. To me this seems, oh look, he's even standing on a little face down there. This card
looks
to me
like a
feels
pancake.
it feels very mischievous, very creative. This is essentially saying this time right now, especially with everything going on, is the time to get creative. It's the time to kind of go inward, find new hobbies, and kind of find things that make you more mischievous and make you a little bit wild, and just kind of find things to grow that part of yourself.
Nice. I like that.
That's what I'm
This is a good
thinking.
forecast so far.
Yeah.
There's apparently only 4 days in the week.
Ooh, Zeph got a pretty one.
Whoa.
It's not just
What does
it's
that
just
say?
the general for the week.
That is
Tatum the Sylph.
Tatum the Sylph. She's
Tatum the
pretty.
Sylph.
Tatum the Sylph.
Yeah.
She's got some
Oh, wow.
stars.
Yeah, so this is Tatum the Sylph. and it looks like she's really moving forward. She's just going for it. It looks like she's really trusting in herself and her navigation.
She knows where she's going, and she's feeling
going
good
for it.
about it.
So that's I think a very good transformation for this whole entire week. So that's really neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, we hope this helps you guys out and enjoy the fairy forecast. And in the meantime, stay tuned. Hi.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We hope you enjoyed that fairy forecast for your week.
Yeah, you guys gonna get one every episode.
Yeah, we'll try
Yeah,
to do
every
one
week
every
we'll
week.
tell you what we see.
Yeah, what we see
What
and
we
what
see.
you see. And just so you know, when we read these cards, if you have the same deck, remember everyone's going to read it differently. Zoe and I actually have the same deck.
We
And
were just talking about that
Yeah.
off camera about how everyone's
Interpretations are
interpretation
different,
is so
yeah.
different
Yes.
from what we foresee.
It's so funny because we'll
Yeah.
read for each other and we're like, what the hell, girlfriend?
Well, and the cards.
Well, the
too,
cards
'cause
speak to you
They feel
differently.
different. Like the decks are individual.
I can't
so
read your deck.
Yeah, it's
You
weird.
cannot read mine.
They have
can't-
the
It's
same
exactly the
deck,
same.
the exact
But
same
it's
deck, but
completely
they have so different personalities.
I cannot read hers at all. I try to, and yeah, it's so weird.
Mine is very spiky. Like it's very much like it likes me
And mine's
and
very.
doesn't like let people read.
I think mine for everyone else that attempts to read from my decks, like it gets very foggy for them, and they're at a block. It's weird.
Yeah,
It's very
yeah. Well,
void.
We should actually maybe talk one day about how to read.
Yeah.
How to
That'd
do
be fun.
oracle
Yeah.
and card readings.
You know what? I think we can do that next
Next
episode.
Yeah.
Episode.
One day, yeah. Next time.
Next time.
Well, everyone, we really hope you guys are enjoying the ShadowCast Austin. A little coven here in Austin, Texas. We also want to thank Kaiju Labs Media. We want to thank Brian Froud. And everyone out there, we hope that we can help you guys out in any way. If you have any questions or comments, just message us and we'll figure this
That was
out.
dripping.
I
And,
do on my breast.
Wait, and